Hello, everybody. It is Dee and Renee today, and we have an interesting show planned for you. We are going to be talking about the konjac. And Dee, I know here in California it's very warm, ultra temperatures almost to 100 degrees, which for Northern California is unusual. How you doing up there in Medicine Hat?
We've had a cool rainy week, actually. Yeah, kind of disappointing.
Okay.
It kind of felt more like fall this week, so we're not looking for that. So we're looking for the weather to clear out and get sunny again for sure.
Wow, I was in Las Vegas this morning and it's going to be 110 there, and yeah, it's 100 here. So I didn't come back to much change in the weather, but anyway, so one of the things that we've been talking about lately are kind of some light types of summer meals that are cooling to eat and not quite so warm and heavy. And I thought this was a great option this week, Dee. So these guys are the konjac. I was reading a little bit about it, but why don't you tell us about what the konjac is and how to use it?
Sure. So oftentimes the konjac is called a shirataki noodle. And then if you don't do a reading up on it, a lot of people think that it's a mushroom noodle or some of that type in it. And that's not correct. This is the konjac root, and the noodle is made from the root, and it is a glucosamine, I'm not going fiber from the root of the konjac plant. So it's the fiber from the root is what those noodles are made up of. And you will see them called miracle noodle, shirataki noodle, konjac noodle. My favorite brand is actually the konjac label, like it's labeled konjac instead of the miracle. Zero noodle is another one that you may see. I prefer ones without the added oat fiber, those types of things. So there is a lot of them on the market. You still have to do your homework. The actual konjac root fiber ones are no calorie. They're basically all fiber. And so there is some interesting facts on them. So when you eat this fibrous noodles, they actually swell in your tummy, in your intestinal tract, and they actually help to make you feel full. So they are gluten-free, they are vegan-friendly, so they are a great option for all dietary requirements. What else can I tell you?
Well, when you say that they swell in your tummy, does that cause you bloating or just fullness, or can some people have a problem with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the key things that can go along with that is if you are underhydrated. So anytime we have a client, even in maintenance, who is using these types of pasta replacements, we do let them know that your hydration has to be adequate because there is so much fiber in these types of product. And if you're not used to eating that kind of fiber, you can notice a difference. Now, some people do not experience any discomfort, while the next one may really notice that. We also notice that in dieters with jicama. So with that type of fiber, the oligon fructose fiber, it's also a different type of fiber that some dieters say, oh, my tummy gets a little bit rumbly, or, they experience some side effects. So they're pure fiber. So if adding these guys to your diet, you are going to have to make sure you have adequate hydration on board.
Okay, so yeah, super, lots, all that water. And I don't know about you, Dee, but I always have my clients have 96 ounces of water. And I know it's different for, some clinics adhere to 64 ounces, but I just find that we really get the best results with people that drink about 100 ounces of water. What do you think?
Well, let's touch on that because I think 64 ounces is a bare minimum.
Yeah.
And when you're using, so say you are on something like the IP protocol, if you are using any of their drinks, I always dilute more. So, you know, if they say mix with 250 mils of water, I automatically mix with 5. I find they're very concentrated. They're very powerful, very strong. So instead of a cup of water, I'm using 2 cups of water. I think you all should be on the branched chain amino acids. That is also a very strong concentration. So again, instead of mixing with 1 cup of water, I'm mixing with 3. So I 64, it's not enough. Though we do have a lot of ways that you can get that water consumption up and going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree. So if you are jumping on and just joining us, if you're not already receiving our newsletter, be sure if you'd like to get these recipes, just type in the word newsletter and you will automatically get a message in your Facebook. It's a 2-step process to get our weekly newsletter. So all these recipes come out every single Monday. If you are online, give us a hashtag live and let us know where you're from. And already we have Joelle saying hello to us, and let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. Have you tried the konjac noodle? So let us know if you've tried it. Give us a thumbs up if you have tried any of the like zero noodles, the miracle noodles. What's the difference between zero noodles, miracle noodles, and konjac noodles? Is there any difference?
No, labeling, whichever company makes them. The 3 that you will see a lot are the zero noodle, the konjac noodle, and something called a shirataki noodle. And they're all done from the konjac root. There are some zero noodle brands which also have some oat fiber in their noodles as well. Those ones boast 4 carbohydrates but 4 grams of fiber. So I still prefer the konjac brand, which has 0 grams of carbs, and I think there's 4 or 5 grams of fiber per serving. So
so one of the things to look at though is the serving size, right? Because a lot of people think that they can just take that whole bag of noodles and eat it in one serving. Right.
You have to respect the serving size, and most brands, there's going to be 3 to 4 servings per bag. I know so I say that, but of course I'm referring to the ones that we sell. So you always just read your label and understand the serving size. Yeah. And we do say no more than 1 serving per day.
Of course. And I just thought I would, let's see, I'll pop this up later, but let's start here. We got a couple people here. Hi, Annette from Alberta, Okotoks.
Yep.
Alberta.
Yep.
All right. And we have Kelly. Hey, Kelly. We met Kelly at the Seattle Super Weekend. She's from South Dakota. And Melissa says that your salads were incredible last night. So we're going to start here with this Mediterranean salad. And of course, right, coming off of summer, all these wonderful tomatoes and different fresh veggies that we have. Take advantage of that now that they're all fresh.
So this salad has a bit of a Mediterranean twist on it. It has the fresh spinach, fresh scraped tomatoes. It has a little bit of sauteed fresh zucchini. I used both the green and yellow summer squash variety, fresh red onion, and if you were in phase 4, this would be the perfect salad to even add your olives to. You want some of that healthy fat. Maybe you would have a little bit of fresh feta on there. It is a homemade dressing, but really, really simple. Your vinegar, your oil, your oregano, fresh garlic, a little bit of lemon zest, fresh ground pepper. And again, so this version presented here was done for phase 1 clients last night because we had a potluck workshop. So I wanted to make sure that it was phase 1 friendly for any of those clients that were in that phase. But if you were in phase 4, my recommendation again would be the olives, the feta, and to increase your oil on this fresh salad. So really simple, really fresh. All the ingredients absorb your fresh dressing beautifully and holds up really, really well. So it's very delicious.
Okay, that sounds awesome. How do you make these noodles when you're preparing them? Are you blanching them?
I'll tell you. So I'll tell you my secret. So a lot of clients like to boil them for a couple. So first of all, you're going to rinse these noodles, and everybody thinks they're in a fish suspension, but they're not. It's just the smell of the root. You drain them and you rinse them in cool water, and then you can either boil them for a couple minutes, drain and use, but I actually rinse them, drain them, and I dry fry them in a very large skillet. I take the moisture out of them. I take a bit of the moisture out of them before using them, and I prefer that texture over the boiled texture, but both are fine. If you're going to boil them, it's a simple 2-3 minute boil, drain, cool, use as you like. And of course, you can use these noodles hot, but I just really wanted to show you, we're still in summer, that fresh summer light salads. I wanted to show you that they're absolutely wonderful cold as well. Yeah.
So you dry fried these and
Yes.
and then using them cold.
Yes.
All right. So I know that this is this the seaweed veggies or the tofu veggie rolls?
These are seaweed.
Okay.
So we're going to touch on that too. So those little packets of seaweed that have oil and flavorings and all those kind of things on them, they're a no. They're hard no, guys, if you are in phase 1. If you're a maintenance dieter, that is fine. So what you see pictured here is the actual traditional large nori sheets. They have absolutely no flavoring, no carbs, no nothing. It's like you just plucked her right out of the ocean. And so they come in great big large squares, and those are phase 1 acceptable. So you do really have to make sure that you understand what you're purchasing in the ingredients. And I will write that in the recipes also, but these are unflavored, unoiled, unseasoned. They are just simply plain seaweed sheets. And then you're going to add your flavoring to them. Yeah.
Okay. So do you get the sheets wet or are they pliable? How does that work?
So I buy them dry, and then I simply take a pastry brush and brush them lightly with water before using to soften them to make them pliable.
Okay, so you're just brushing them with water.
Yep.
And I noticed that there were several comments about your peanut sauce,
Yes.
which is phase 1 peanut sauce. Tell us how you came up with your phase 1 peanut sauce.
Well, I know a lot of you are going to turn up your nose, but if you are in phase 1, this is where your Walden Farms peanut butter comes into play. And I'm going to be really honest with you. I would never eat that stuff just as plain peanut butter. But I have had amazing results making chicken satay, peanut sauces. It's a great ingredient in sauces. So for this peanut sauce, there's a lot of different ways you can make peanut sauce if you like this type of cuisine. So if you're in phase 4, some would call for coconut cream. Some would call for, so I choose to do the one with fresh garlic, fresh red chili flakes, a little bit of IP or Walden Farms maple syrup, fresh lime juice, and the Walden Farms peanut butter. So really a lot of seasoning, and it's really tasty. So if you're in phase 1, 2, that's what you're going to use. And if you were in 3 or 4, then you could substitute in, of course, your real nut butter, your real coconut cream for a creamier texture. But it's delicious. And you can make it as thin or as thick as you like. And a little goes a long way too. So that's the other thing. A lot of times we're looking to replace you know, you might be somebody who would take a spoon, dip it in the peanut butter jar, and stick that in your mouth. You're not going to do that with the Walden Farms products. You just won't.
Which, by the way, is the beauty of the Walden Farm peanut butter, because you're not going to want to lick the spoon.
Yeah, but it makes really great phase one sauces and dips. And so if you haven't seen our chicken satay recipe, you know, Renee and I showcased that one. I know Melissa has showcased it in our own clinic. It's a really great recipe, really great sauce. And so those are where those types of products, they can enhance your journey, and especially if you like this type of cuisine. And it's not only delicious, but it's a lot of fun, and you can really just customize things to your own personal taste as well. Whereas often, like in restaurants, you can't, like, you get what you get in their veggie spring rolls, but you can customize to make this your own, whatever you like. And the noodles just have a light hint of a vinegar and some seasoning on them, and yeah, roll them up. And
okay, so you're just picking whatever kind of you're adding the noodles, and are you putting, other than the tofu rolls, so you put some protein in these ones, but the other ones were just more like salad, basically like a salad roll.
So these ones, you could do your shrimp salad, you could do just veggies, or you could do your shrimp or your chicken, leftover shrimp, chicken, salmon, any of those kind of things in your fridge. These ones actually pictured actually just have your the noodles, lettuce, romaine lettuce. You could do any kind of spring mix, arugula, like any type of mix. And then your traditional, veggie spring rolls have carrots, and of course not doing that, but I've got cucumber and purple cabbage and red pepper and the romaine and the noodles, and just rolled up into the nori seaweed, and super tasty, super fun to dip. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's see. Lori says, hi from Los Angeles. Why only one serving of the noodles per day? Does it lead to digestive issues?
It absolutely can. And they are actually really filling, and they don't count towards your vegetable consumption for the day. So we need to ensure that we are still getting our 4 cups. Plus salad is always our recommendation. And the noodles, they do have a lot of fiber, and they do fill you up. And so we don't want to cause you any digestive discomfort. We also don't want them to replace the other nutrients that you are aiming to get in. However, if you are a really hungry dieter, they can be a very good addition to your planning and prepping for your meals.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good point. And I just want to say hello to Alana from Ideal Wellness in North Idaho, up there in Coeur d'Alene. Okay. So tell us about this, Dee.
So this one is a salmon and with lime dressing. Konjac Noodle Salad. And again, I changed up my dressing. So my dressing is lime based, and changed up the vegetables in this one. So this one is radish and red pepper and a lot of green onions. Really quite simple. So the noodle and the salmon actually take over instead of the vegetable, if that makes sense. And then the next one we're going to see the vegetable takes over. So I wanted to give you just a little bit of spin. And then this lime dressing, again, I used hot chili sauce in it as well with the lime for the kick, and it's really, really good. The salmon lime was the best one. It was really tasty. And I buy zero carb. I actually should have had it out. It's a chili sauce, like a chili paste. It has tons of kick, and it's amazing for making homemade dressings where you want to kick. So simple. So when you're just whisking your fresh ingredients, garlic. This one has fresh grated ginger, fresh grated garlic, lime juice. It's really good and simple, like really, really simple. So the more you make fresh summer salads, there's just going to be some ingredients that become really normal in your grocery shopping. And so garlic and ginger and lemons and limes, like you'll always have one on hand in your fridge for summer salad making.
Yeah. So I was gonna see, is it the garlic chili sauce that you get?
Should I go look?
Is it that one called chili garlic sauce? It's in the red jar with the green top on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably.
I use that one too. So I was just wondering if that's the one it was. And I see it here on Amazon. So I'll pop it up there in between the next salad. But here's more of now. Is this just another picture of the same? Okay.
Yeah, you know me.
So this is the shrimp salad.
So now this one, I had to explain to Renee, everybody, my poor quality pictures. I forgot to take pictures of my salads before I put them in containers to go to our potluck last night. And this one I would actually present to you, not mixed. I would present it, all the ingredients separated, and then get you just to toss them together prior to eating, because this one actually contains quite a bit of romaine lettuce in it. And if you pre-mix it too soon, it will get a little bit soggy. So this one is have it in the bowl with all the ingredients beside each other. And then just prior to serving, you would drizzle over the dressing and toss. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So I promise I'm going to redo these pictures to give you nicer presentation.
You got a lot of pictures to redo. You had to redo them last week too.
I know.
So this is the chili sauce that we were just talking about, and delicious. And there was a couple of dishes that we used it in at the retreat, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's a great. I know lots of people like their Frank's Red Hot sauce and things like that, but that chili paste, it just has a different flavor dimension. And I'm a real big fan of using real jalapeno and real serrano peppers, but that chili paste is awesome. And it has kick, like it has some good kick. So a little goes a long way.
Well, as always, this looked like my favorite picture. It looked delicious. And this is made with konjac rice. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. Tell us how you came upon this.
Well, rice pudding, custard, those types of things come to mind. And the really neat thing about this one is you can do a baked custard version or you can do a stovetop custard version. This one was a baked version, and you do it in the water bath method, which I will explain to everybody how you do. So you get a beautiful creamy custard that doesn't stick to the bottom of your pan. It doesn't dry out. And so you're basically putting your casserole dish inside a great big baking pan that has water in it, and you place your casserole dish on top of a little trivet or a baking rack so that it doesn't touch the bottom. And the water bath actually helps to make the custard so beautiful. You can do it in the oven, you can do it in the crock pot, or if you just need to have it done fast, you can do it in a pot on the stove top, pour into your dishes, and let set in the fridge. So this one with the konjac rice, you dry it out completely. So you want to dry it out just like you're going to use tapioca pearl. So if you've ever touched a tapioca pearl or those types of things, they're very dry. So we completely dry out the rice, and then we mix it with a ready-made vanilla drink mix, your sugar-free maple syrup, your nutmeg and cinnamon, and eggs. And you whisk and you bake it, or whisk it, pour it, bake it, or whisk it over low heat on the stovetop until it thickens, pour in your dishes to set. Simple and delicious, and really one of those, as many of our diets would say, comfort food, mom's food growing up, those types of things. A little bit more of a wintry dessert, but since we were using, I was using the noodles this week, I thought I should just throw that up there too to show you that you can make a sweet treat with it as well. Not overpowering at all, And again, extremely filling, and shows you how you can use a little bit of egg protein and just a simple vanilla drink. So you can stay 100% on protocol, but decadent enough to make for a phase 4 dessert as well.
Awesome. So does anybody have any questions about the konjac noodle, or just konjac in general? I saw this article, and I just thought it would be fun to kind of throw this up there, because it has some great health benefits. It talks about diabetes management, how it's indicated when you use it as a part of your diet, it shows improvement in type 2 diabetes management, and it lists weight loss as one of the things that is beneficial for you. Cholesterol, you know, and as we know, as we lose weight, our cholesterol seems to align itself. It also talks about relieving constipation, can improve that, healthy skin, and it talks about wound healing. So there's a lot of, it says it supports the immune system. So I just thought, you know, it's always interesting when we find out about what's in the things that we're eating. And we educate ourselves, then it's more interesting for us to continue eating them. So, you know, I think one of the great things about the process of changing our lifestyle for me has been, it's really, really, you know, like people always say to me, like, how can you just like not eat French fries anymore, or you just don't eat pizza anymore, you what have you? And to me, it's more about, I learned what those things, you know, why I was having digestive problems after I ate them, why I was feeling bloated, why I was waking up half of the night, why I was exhausted the next day after eating a lot of, you know, foods that basically just turn to sugar in our system. And so it's so much easier for me to make those decisions when I know, like, tomorrow I'm going to wake up feeling like I have a hangover.
Yeah.
You know? What about you, Dee?
Well, there was actually, so we had a little workshop last night, and there was some really great discussion too on other reasons why not to eat foods that cause inflammation in your body. And it's because they kill your good gut bacteria. And that was a really big part of the conversation, was the teaching about when you eat the healthy foods and the healthy fibers in the noodles, such as those konjac noodles, or your fiber from, you know, your jicama, things like that, they're going to start building up your army of good gut flora again, and make digestion easier and better, and put those enzymes back in that over time the sugar destroys. And the sugar is really evil, because it multiplies and divides the bad gut bacteria and kills the good gut bacteria. And I mean, that's why we feel so junky usually after eating those types of food, if you've been clean eating. And they destroy good gut flora immediately. I think it says somewhere that every time you do an exposure to it, it's 3 months. It takes 3 months to clean up and build it back up. So it might not take you 3 months to feel better, but it takes a long time to keep that gut flora healthy and in balance. And you often hear clients say, well, I can't, you know, it bugs my tummy. And that happens right off the bat, usually with vegetables or certain types of protein, because if you don't eat them, those enzymes and good gut bacteria are not there to help digest them. So it's a process to build them back up. So you have to be patient, and you have to be willing to give it a try.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know, the thing, like with gluten, if you've been told that you're gluten sensitive or gluten intolerant, you know, people think, well, I can just have a little bit of gluten. Well, unfortunately, it takes 3 months for gluten to make its way completely out of your system. And of course, you know, gluten is causing a lot of problems, not only with gut health, but with brain health. And so again, you know, why is it easier not to eat bread and not to eat pizza and not to eat things with gluten in them, because I know that the long-term effects are really, they're just not great. And, you know, if you read about health and, you know, read books like Stephen Perlmutter's books on grain brain and a variety of books that talk about the end result being dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, that just doesn't seem like a great way to go. So are you willing to maybe, you know, have different kinds of options? Maybe you're willing to make bread from almond flour, or, you know, a variety of different things that aren't wheat related, aren't genetically modified, and you know, just change a lot of the ways that you normally have eaten in the past. I mean, we were all raised on English muffins, and we didn't have white bread in the house, but I knew most kids did. And so, you know, just a variety of things that were, you know, traditional.
The interesting thing about that, we didn't have white bread in our house either, but when they do the actual nutrition breakdown, at the end of the day, that whole wheat bread is just a disguise for the white bread, because it does the same exact thing in our system, which is a little disheartening. And nowadays too, you know, fresh bread, I mean, we're not eating, most of us aren't eating fresh bread made in Italy with less glutinous flour. Most of us are eating over-processed, you know, your bread should not have a shelf life of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Your food should rot, and that's kind of a really good rule of thumb. And I probably told this story before, but you know, way back in the day, I had done a Weight Watchers kick, and I'm not slamming other diet programs, but I bought their bread, right? I'm going to eat their bread, and you know, to count my point system. And we had gone camping that summer, and I had left an entire loaf of Weight Watchers bread up in the trailer. It was there for 9 months to the next season. Got forgotten up on a rack on the corner. And when I took that bag down, it was still squishy soft, and it was not rotten. And I have gut issues. And I mean, I wonder why I have gut issues. I was putting food like that in my stomach. And so 9 months, no rotting, not good. And the kids and I, we have actually done the driveway sun test, where we put processed food from fast food restaurants onto the driveway and see if they rot in the sun. And let me tell you, they don't. They don't rot.
So scary.
So your food should rot. Yep.
Yeah. So food should be something that we learn about, and that it makes sense to us. It makes sense why we ingest the food that we do. And I'm always really careful with anything that if I'm super sensitive. So if something makes my belly bloated immediately, I am immediately looking back at what I ate and figuring out why, and getting rid of whatever it was, or figuring out why if I combined it with certain kinds of foods that it didn't go well with, if you know, whatever. So I know that might be a little TMI, but you know, it's important for us to start recognizing that food is not entertainment, food is not fun, food is not celebrations. People are celebrations, our families are celebrations, and finding ways to celebrate together that doesn't include craziness.
Yes. Well, and you know, we had last night, we had a dieter in our midst that she's edging up. I think she surpassed the 160 pound loss mark.
Okay.
And
awesome.
Yeah, and she cruises and holidays, and you know, was in Italy, you were in Italy, just in places with all kinds of different cuisine, and was really sharing with other clients on how she manages that in her new life, and things that she doesn't crave. And so even if she's taken a break here and there was still very many food items that she just didn't go back to. And now Sharon's new love is she kayaks everywhere. So it's the most coolest thing. That she is coming up onto half of her. She has lost half of herself.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And it's so great to see people that embrace that change, and not only embrace it, but understand that it is not just like, okay, I'm doing this for this amount of time and then that's done. Because unfortunately, it's never done. We have to continue down that road of making good decisions all the time. And yes, we can have fabulous times. I travel every year. I travel a lot. Actually, I travel almost every weekend.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's definitely, I eat out a lot. It's a minute by minute decision. So, you know, I eat a lot of salads and a lot of grilled protein. It's tasty, delicious. I love it. But that's become my lifestyle, and that was not my lifestyle 20 years ago. 20 years ago, my lifestyle was eating the full bread basket and, you know, butter and dipping everything in olive oil. And I still do dip in olive oil. I'm just not dipping the whole bread basket in olive oil. You know, I still use butter. I'm just not using, you know, the entire thing of butter plus an extra one, you know, and really making changes in my lifestyle. And yes, I do eat pasta, but it's fresh pasta. I know where it came from. I know that it was, you know, what flour it was made with, and I'm careful to go to restaurants that do that, and so you can still have a very tasty lifestyle. We encourage all of you to enjoy your lives and keep it on. So Dee, it's been wonderful seeing you again this week. I love your konjac noodle recipes. I think it gives us all that option of feeling like we're having something unusual and different. And if you love sushi or sushi rolls, spring rolls, fat rolls, these are super great options. You can make them with your family. It's fun for the kids to do, and to start, you know, talking about really good options of what we love to eat.
You betcha.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you, Dee, for all of your creativeness and your wonderful recipes. And we will see everybody next week.
Thanks, Renee. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.